Welcome to She Moves Bravely, a podcast dedicated to empowering women through stories of resilience, courage, and success. I'm your host, Shantae Dent. Today, I have the honor of introducing you to a woman who moves bravely, and her name is Erica Strong. Erica, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Shantae. I'm super excited to be here because it's you.
It's you, it's you,
It's
it's you.
you.
Oh, so if you all could see our faces, I've known Erica for years, and I just have to start by saying the first time I heard Erica speak, she shared her story, and I thought, this woman is amazing. My goodness, she is powerful. And I am so glad I did not miss hearing her speak. And from that moment on, our encounters have been rich. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to pass the baton to you in a second, but I just have to put this out there. Erica is one of the women who will pour into your life because that's who she is. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, thank you, Erica. Thank you, Erica. But there have been plenty of times where Erica has seen me like at the top of the mountain and then way down somewhere in the bottom of the creek. And she has been right there encouraging and supporting and offering her advice and her wisdom. And I love this woman and I am ridiculously excited. I'm doing cartwheels inside, you just can't see them. to have you on the She Moves Bravely podcast. So again, Erica, welcome and thank you so much for being with us today.
No, Shantae, I have to throw it back at you, honey. Like I'm excited to be here. Just like the cartwheels that you're doing, I'm probably going to get off and do them like in person and then hopefully I don't hurt myself. But Shantae, I remember the first day that we met. Yeah. And I remember the conversation was like, Erica, God has put something in my heart to do it. And you just gave me the push to do it. And that was years ago. Do you know how many people have said that to me, Shantae, and has done nothing? You've done it. You're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
You are changing lives. You are helping people. So that same, thought that you had when you met me is exactly how I look at you. Like you are so powerful. And I absolutely love it. You are the epitome of a woman, just living bravely.
Well, Erica, we are doing this together.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's allow the audience to get a taste of the incredible Erica Strong. Erica, I want to give you the opportunity to share some of your journey and inspire us today in terms of what you've experienced and how you overcame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man, when we do this thing called life, there is not just one thing that we have to position ourselves to overcome, right? Yep. Like when somebody throw that question, I'm like, Erica, what have you overcome? Wait a minute, but like what part of my life you want me to start?
Yeah.
Because people, I don't know why we think or we have this fantasy that life is supposed to be so smooth, no bumps, no ruffles. We think that, anything that happens against what we expected is just like, the end of the world and oh my God, how is this going to happen? But I now sit in a space where the things that I have had to go through, the things that I have had to overcome, they literally was like things that prepared me for every space of my life, even losing my parents young. I lost my mother at 25, I lost my father at 33. So like every, milestone in my life, it was like, oh, like, man, like, it always prepared me for things. But I think the thing that is the most memorable, I would say, not that none of them are not memorable, but the thing, like you would think that losing your parents would be the biggest hit, right? The biggest hit for me happened after I had my last daughter. I have three beautiful girls, and my youngest daughter was 1 at the time. And her dad just decided he was going to leave for business and never come back, right? And the reason why I say that was the biggest for me is because I had never considered not living anymore or taking my own life
Right.
until I encountered that. Right. So, go through losing your parents, relocating, just a lot of shifts
Yeah.
that happens with the ebb and flow in life. But that was the one time that I really set in that space where it's just like, why am I still here? The pain was just so hard. And I know that we go through things in our life that we think, oh, this is it. I cannot, everybody say it's going to get easier. It's like, this is it. That was this is it for me.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the pivotal point for me, like I was, like if you stay in your head and you think about, not living anymore long enough, you start acting on not living anymore, right? And I remember looking at his medicine cabinet with some pills that he had from a surgery, and I was thinking like, I should just take this whole bottle and just be done with it. But remember, I'm a mother of 3 girls, right? So it scared me enough that I was like, let me get out of this house and let me leave. Like at the time I was living in Georgia and then I'm from Maryland. So I was like packing them all up. Cause of course, mom, you got to show this brave face. Nobody knows what's happening. Right. And so I'm like, hey, so we're going to go on a field trip and we're going to, go to Baltimore. We're going to visit our family. And so they're like, yeah, hey, all inside, I'm crumbling. I'm like, I need to get to my family for somebody to give me some real love because I'm about to take myself out.
Yeah.
Right. And so while I'm driving, I remember everybody kind of settled down, started falling asleep. And now, as they're sleeping, I'm like bawling because, you try to hold it in. And I remember, like, after this was kind of over, one of my daughters, like, I didn't think you cried. Like, that's crazy that I was always showing this brave face that my children didn't even think that I knew how to cry. Right. But anyway, they're asleep and I am bawling, crying. And now I'm talking to God. I said, God, you said that you wouldn't put more on me than I can bear. This is too much. And what made this too much, guys, everybody that's listening, it wasn't just your husband left and he didn't come back. He left and he started dating and was engaged
Mm.
to a R&B singer. So imagine we're still married. And so the world is congratulating this relationship and they're so happy for her and they're planning their wedding and we are still married. He just left and didn't come back. So that's what made it so hard, right? And so I'm driving and I'm crying. I'm like, God, you said that you wouldn't put more on me than I could bear. This is too much. And I remember driving over one of the big bridges from connecting Georgia to South Carolina. And I remember driving and thinking like, I should just, turn this wheel and take this car right over that bridge and just end it all because this is too much. I don't want to leave my children here in this crazy world. So we're going together. Right. And as I am having this thought again, because it's scaring me, because this is why I got away. This is why we got in the car. So as I'm driving and we're having that thought, and I'm crying, and I mean, the more I'm crying, the more I'm thinking, like, just go ahead and just do it. Jasmine coughed,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
and her cough just like jolted me out of that trance
Yeah.
to just be done with it, right? And so as soon as I just kind of got jolted out of that, I was like, how selfish of me. Like all of the hurt that I was feeling, I was about to make a permanent decision for a temporary
Mm.
pain.
Come on now. That's heavy, Erica.
Yeah.
That is heavy. And as you're describing this experience, I feel it. I feel it. I
Mhm.
see it. And you talked about, I mean, everything is unfolding right in front of you. Like you got hit hard, and it wasn't like, okay, I got hit hard. Now I have a space to kind of calm down and recover. You kept getting hit and hit and hit
Mhm.
and hit
Mhm.
because it's
Mhm.
right there in your face.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about those are those times where we feel so open and vulnerable. Like, where is my guard? Where is my protection? Because
Yeah.
all of this is happening to me. Hello, does anybody see me? Anybody understand what's really going on? I,
Yeah.
I'm I'm thinking, Erica, about the many individuals who are already blessed by what you're saying because you're normalizing a lot for a lot of women. You nailed it,
Yes.
especially as moms. It's not
Mhm.
easy being vulnerable.
Mm-mm.
in front of our children. I've learned as a mom that if I want to be open and vulnerable, like I have to on purpose and choose to. Otherwise, I go to
Mm-hmm.
my space and work all of that out
Yeah.
and say, it's okay for your kids to see you, going through something
Yes.
and you can teach them, how to process. But I also admire the strength in that. And we understand it's a thin line, right? Yes, I need to keep it together for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, there is some ways where that could be unhealthy and it's also, I believe, a sign of strength because you're right. It's easy to fall apart and lose it. And
Mm-hmm.
when you have to, like you said, like make this abrupt decision, if I don't get out of this house,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
turn out so well. And
Right.
and we talk about divine moments for your daughter to cough and you say you like it's almost like you came out of a trance.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, those are signs. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
it's not time. It's not over until it's over.
Yeah.
It is not over until it's over. Now, I
Yeah.
want you to, I would love for you to pick up because here's what I'm seeing. You were running to community, you were running
Yes.
to family, and that is a
Yes.
crucial step
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to our healing and recovery to not
Mm-hmm.
go at it alone. And so,
No.
how did that change the course of the rest of this journey for you?
Yeah, it changed it tremendously because as I was in that space and I'm really running away because where I was living, everybody knew me. I couldn't go to church without somebody wanting to talk to me and wanting to know what's going on. Like it was just
Mm,
too much. And I needed to know that I had people that could care less.
yeah.
They only wanted to love on me, you know? And
Mm,
so as I'm driving there and I'm just praying, I'm like, okay, and now that I'm jolted out of this trance, and
mm,
I'm thinking like, I'm still crying. I'm asking God, you gotta help me. You gotta help me. And Shante, I promise you, I heard God say that help other people. And I'm
oh,
I'm asking him to help me.
yes.
Help other people. And because I remember responding out loud. So I heard that help
Mm,
other people. And I remember responding like, help other people. Did you just see me
mm,
like a mile ago?
mm.
I am in
A
no
mile ago.
position. Right. I'm in no position to help other people. I need the help. Did you forget about me?
Mhm.
Hello, here I
Yeah,
am.
yeah, yeah.
Right. And so feeling like you're in this desert of just like pain and nobody knows and nobody
Mhm.
understands. And to your point, it's just me being able to have this conversation, and I have it as many times as I can because people will try to hide the fact that they've ever thought about taking their
Mhm.
life, that
Mhm.
they ever
Yep.
tried to, like, like I never like tried to, but the thought just kept coming and
Okay.
kept coming.
Yeah.
And that bridge was that final straw, right?
Mhm.
And so getting to Baltimore, getting to my family, literally, nobody asked me anything. They didn't talk to me about it. As a matter of fact, they just gave me a full day to just go in the
Mhm.
room and just be.
I love it.
And they took care of my girls, and I was able to just be. And
Yeah.
they loved on me. And the whole time they're loving on me, I'm still playing back in my head, help other people, help other people. And as long as I'm playing that back, all I started thinking about, like people that talk to me about everything, it's like their faces, the conversation,
Mm.
it just kept coming up almost like it was just like, okay, okay, already. Right.
Mm.
I just started remembering all of these conversations. And at the time, I was reading Joyce Meyer's book, Battlefield of the Mind.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
Oh my God. And it was one
Yes.
sentence in that book that changed everything for me.
Mm.
The sentence said, the battle is won or lost
Mm.
in your mind first.
Yes.
So when I read that, I kind of
Mm.
like perked up. I was like, wait a minute. So I could win this in my mind first? The
Mm.
way that I thought about it, the way that I perceived it, all of that stuff. And so now I'm like, I'm writing down every name that I could think of that was coming to me as I was driving. And I called my assistant back in Georgia and I told her, call these people, tell them to get the book, Joyce, The Battlefield of the Mind, and meet me at this, at my place, because we're going to start doing a book session
I love
around,
it.
a therapy session around this book. Now,
Yeah.
at the time, I didn't have my therapy degree. Like it
Mhm.
was just, we're doing this, right? But one of the things, Shante, that I found in that when I got back, and it was just, I created a safe space for women to just take off the masks
Mhm.
Stop pretending to
Yep.
be okay when we're not.
Thank
You
you.
know, we always have that brave face, but it's okay to not be
It's
okay,
the truth. It's the
especially
truth.
when you're in a space that is protective,
Oh my goodness.
right?
Yeah, so true. You know, oh, Erica, there's so many directions I want to go in right now. My goodness. First, I just want to say, prior to you and I connecting for this episode, literally about 30 minutes prior, I'm sitting down here and I'm pondering the why of She Moves Bravely.
Hmm.
And I got emotional and I'm shedding tears and I'm like, well, where'd this come from? And it hit me, it just kind of hit me differently. And I all I could envision is it's because the guest on She Moves Bravely are the examples that other people need to hear to normalize what they're going through. Because you said it, Erica, we feel alone. We feel like, am I the only one who's thinking about suicide?
Mm-hmm.
Am I
Mm-hmm.
the only one?
Mm-hmm.
And we will isolate ourselves or deem ourselves as being crazy. We don't know if we'll ever get through it. And it hit me in a different way. Like, this is why the podcast exists,
Mm-hmm.
to share stories so listeners can understand, number one, they are not alone. Number two, there is a way out, and to normalize, no, you're not crazy. This is a
Mm-hmm.
part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
And giving them the space and the permission, as you said, to remove the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Erica, you touched on something powerful, and I can attest to this. And I wouldn't say this is for everybody, but if you know that you know that you know, when
Mm-hmm.
you can be in it and not even 100% where you can, oh, I'm good, I'm over it, I've recovered and healed. But when you can, you still in that thing, but you
Mm-hmm.
know God has put it on your heart to be the one to help others, that's
Mm-hmm.
next level.
Girl.
I'm glad you obeyed
Oh yeah.
because I imagine you were like, wait, who me? And you said, wait, what about me? For you didn't even get to who me, but you were like, but what about
What
me?
did you just see?
Yeah, that's so powerful, Erica.
Mm-hmm.
So you were healing, recovering, and stepping out to help others. And
Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk a little bit about that, but I also want to highlight real quickly the statement from the book in terms of you win or lose in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's a game changer. And I'm highlighting it because how many times are we waiting to see change? Well, I
Right.
want to see something first. I want someone to apologize first. I
Yeah.
need them to understand what they did. Or we were like, wait, I just want to feel something versus no,
Oh,
we're going to draw the line
yeah.
and change our perspective and get
Yes.
on this road of recovery
Mm-hmm.
and have a growth mindset and
Mm-hmm.
just and shut it down. Keep,
Mm-hmm.
continue to do the work because a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
everything doesn't happen overnight. We still have to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this reminder that it is in your mind, in your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
We can choose to
Mm-hmm.
shut it down and go in a different direction. So, how did this, the Bible study, the book study, how did that transpire in helping yourself and other women?
Mm-hmm. Because I started with me first, right?
Mm,
So
yeah.
when I got back and I had all of the ladies together, because,
Mm,
I'm this public figure and everybody knows
mm,
me and all of that stuff. And so I think a bit of them came out of the curiosity, like, oh my God, what is she going to tell us? Are we going to
yeah.
get the insider scoop or?
Mm,
And so when I started, I said, I always started the meetings off with this conversation. This is a safe space. We are all allowed to take our mask off and really be vulnerable. Any words that are uttered outside of these doors by anyone in this room, you will be asked to leave and you will not be able to come back. I started every session off with that. So
mm,
that if you was there, you had to have the right intention on being there. And so when I started with me first, I said, so I'm going to be the first one to take off my mask. And what you see under this mask
mm,
is broken, is shattered, It's painful, it's ugly. I don't even know how this is all going to play out. I just know that the book started helping me. I started thinking about the conversations that each person in this room has had with me, and we all need it. So
Mhm.
here I am being vulnerable first.
Yeah, that's a
And it just
good start.
opened it up. The tears,
Ooh.
the love, the
Mhm.
support, the
Mhm.
prayers. I mean, it was so healing. The thing that was miraculous for me in this moment. Remember, I'm still dealing with my
Yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah.
It's still in the media. It's still on the news. Essence, right, has a big article about. Like, I'm still dealing with it, right? And so every day, I literally would cry myself to sleep,
Mhm.
cry myself when I'm trying to get myself dressed, cry myself to work, try to fix my makeup up before I get there. I mean, crying had become a part of my, like, if I'm not crying, then I'm not awake,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And
mm,
so I remember going through session after session after session. And one day I'm doing my makeup, and Shantae, this is like crazy. So I'm doing my makeup that morning in the mirror, and I'll go, I'm not crying. It shocked me
mm.
to not be crying.
Mm, mm,
Right. And
mm.
so
Yeah.
when I realized, like, oh my God, I'm not crying.
Mhm.
God revealed to me that when you take the focus off of yourself
Yeah.
in the middle of your pain and you turn it around to help somebody else, what's
Mhm.
happening while you're not paying attention is you're healing.
I
You
can
know how like you get a
imagine.
scar and you put a
Yeah.
Band-Aid on? As
Mm.
long as you keep picking and looking to see if it heals, it's
Oh,
never
come
going to
on
heal.
now.
You
Yeah.
put the salve on it, and that salve is your
Mm,
prayers, your faith, your belief, that change of mindset. That's the salve you put on it, and you cover it up and you go about your business. And what
mhm.
happens is when you look back, it's like, oh, it healed.
Yes. That is beautiful. Yeah. So powerful, Erica. The ashes were turned into beauty. The sadness in the mourning was turned into joy. You are making a mark in so many lives. And you're a blessing to so many. How are you helping people today? What do you have your hands in?
So I'm a business strategist. So I absolutely adore entrepreneurs, right? I've been an entrepreneur my entire adult life, right? And so I understand from the strategic side of building a business and, building a brand, getting out there on the market and everything. But from my therapeutic brain, because I have my bachelor's in business, my master's in therapy, I understand that there's a whole level of work that we have to do as entrepreneurs. Because one of the things that, and I just posted about this, one of the things that is true about an entrepreneur, it forces you to sit with yourself. Like, am I good enough? And is this going to be enough? What if I fail? Am I scattered and all over the place? Like, what am I doing? Like what direction am I in? And then can I show up for myself? Right. And so all of those limiting beliefs, all of those imposter syndrome kind of things that comes up, I
Yeah.
help entrepreneurs to just let's rethink that, let's
Mhm.
change the narrative, let's change the perspective, like helping them to find a way that they can develop your personal development
Mhm.
and then build strategy around what they do. So that's where I am. I absolutely love doing it. I so love helping mainly women entrepreneurs because I know how vulnerable we can be in spaces as wives and as mothers, and a lot of times as the sole breadwinner. So helping them to find that financial independence, that financial stability, in something that they were, given as a vision to bring to the market, or something that they are passionate about, just things that we already have in our hand. I can't remember who it was in the Bible that the prophet said, use what you have in your house. So I help women learn to use what they have already
Yes.
to make themselves profitable, marketable, and have
Mhm.
solid businesses.
I appreciate this combination that you're sharing, Erica, because you're right. A lot of times people go out on this entrepreneurial journey, and if the work from within hasn't been tended to, that affects the prosperity, the growth, and the impact and the reach of that business, of the organization. And we
Mhm,
know that's not the only reason that might cause someone to, not
mhm,
succeed or to stop, but it definitely takes a toll if that individual is not well rounded and has not done the inner work. I
mhm,
feel you're a perfect person to reach people in that particular space.
mhm.
And don't you love how it works out so beautifully when we can look at our lives and look back and say, it was not easy. There were so many seasons where we felt like giving up, but you're
Mhm,
thankful that you
mhm,
didn't stop, that you didn't give up. And all of those lessons you learned along the way, here you are today, bringing it all together. Oh
mhm,
my. And creating a service that's benefiting so many women entrepreneurs. I
mhm.
absolutely love it. Erica, how can individuals get in touch with you and to work with you so that you can ride along with them during their entrepreneur journey and help them succeed?
Absolutely. So, of course, I do a 30-minute strategy call. So it's absolutely free to anybody that comes. But believe it or not, Shantae, I'm not, well, I'm not even gonna say believe it or not, because you know how people will get you on a call and it's
Uh-huh.
like they're selling you something.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally, you get to give
Mm,
me your stuff. And the intention is that when we are done with that call, you have a solid strategy, even if it's just one thing that you can do to change your business. You have something tangible that you walk away with. So I always make sure that that time is valuable, not like, hey, let me get your email, let me get your number.
mhm,
It's like,
mhm.
let me see how I can help you. And
Yeah.
if through that call you find that I need more help, because I got some, some strategy from you, but now I need more help, then of
Mhm.
course I'm available, to help. So if that's the case, they can go to my website, that's ericastrong.com, or any of the social media platforms in my bio. That's the first link to just book a strategy call with me, 30 minutes. That's it.
And it will be 30 minutes worthwhile because I know what Erica has inside of her is going to be beneficial to you. I have experienced, I said it for myself, and the seasons I've gone through, some of my entrepreneurial journey, and so much wisdom inside of you, Erica. Thank you for being vulnerable and transparent with your story. I love this combination of not just helping you with the business strategy, but focusing on the internal work. It's worth it. I'm telling you,
It's worth
it
it.
is worth it. Well, Erica, I love you so much, and I appreciate you for being such a loving, authentic woman. Thank you for showing up and dropping nuggets. Before we go, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Mhm.
What last words, golden nuggets would you share?
One of the things that I feel like has always been my bounce back, the thing that made me like kind of rise up in any situation is holding on to my authentic power, right? So that authenticity that I have within me is what always like bounces me back up, right? So whenever I'm in those moments like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not enough? I always find that no, this is it. This is it, Shantae. I am
Mhm.
one with God,
Yes.
and his
Yes.
grace is upon me. That always pulls me back to like, okay, because what that says to me is when you say I am one with God, that means you're one with his power, his
Mhm.
grace, his love, his patience, everything that God is, that's my oneness. So then
Amen.
that makes me more than enough. That makes me be able to rise up in any situation. And I use that a lot, especially, and I said this on the last podcast that I was on, whenever I was asked to sit on a um talk show or something like that, and other celebrities and everything on the talk show, the only thing that made me show up bravely
Mm.
was that I was authentic
Yes.
and that I knew that I was one with God. Like that authenticity, that I know who I am, is what
Mhm.
always is that bounce back out of everything that try to pull me down.
It reminds me of this, the importance of finding our identity in Christ and any flaws or weaknesses that we have, we
Mhm.
can rely on the fact that we are in Christ. It's like the filters that we all often use on social
Mhm.
media pictures.
Right, right.
That filter that kind of covers,
Yeah,
washes away,
yeah,
allows us to show up, like you said, bravely and authentically. Erica,
yeah.
thank you for being here today. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love you so much.
I love you too.